October 16th, 2009. The day probably means nothing to you, but October 16th, 2009. A day that I think about quite often, a lot more than I care to admit. That day means absolutely nothing to you, but that day is the day that my life changed forever. That is because that is the day that I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. If you're a regular on my page, you may be thinking, Edin, your life is perfect. You look fit, you make a decent living, you make uplifting, positive content on your page all the time. Your life's good. What are you complaining about? I'm making this video to celebrate. I'd like to celebrate 14 years. 14 years, exactly half of my life, I have had type 1 diabetes. The most formative years at that. Things like Halloween or holidays have all been shifted for me. The way I have to celebrate them is always different. My daily meals are very different. My life is very different as a result, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't change it in any way because there's certain lessons that I've learned, and that's as a result of the just over 24,400 needles that I've had to take in that 14-year period just to make sure that I stay alive, or the just over 56 times I've had to go in for blood work just to make sure that all my levels are okay and that I'm improving and that my health is all good. And that's just on top of the normal daily life of trying to get around 3,000 workouts in that time. What I'm making this video is to say that I'm someone with a chronic illness, type 1 diabetes. I also have a BMI of 31, meaning I'm obese, I'm diabetic, and I still look the way that I look. If there's any one lesson to be learned from this, is that no matter how much you hate it, the best thing you can do is stay consistent. No matter how much it irks you, no matter how much it bothers you, especially if you hate what you see in the mirror, just take it one day at a time. It's not gonna change overnight. In your case, it might not change in a year. It depends on how big the change you make is, and if you can make it over a long period of time, it's gonna be better. Diabetes has really brought me that great lesson of you can't take a day off from this. I can't stop taking the needles. I can't stop checking my blood sugar 30,000 times in 14 years. I can't stop working out because if I do, it'll make dealing with my diabetes so much harder. So all I wanted to say is take it slow. Take it one day at a time. Just like I have to do with my type 1 diabetes, I have to show up for myself every single day. Show up for yourself. Whether your goal was 7,000 steps, 8,000 steps, show up for yourself. Even if that means doing your Duolingo every night. Show up for yourself, even if that means making sure that your child has a meal on the table every single day. Everybody has a problem. Doesn't matter how rich they are. Doesn't matter how nice their social media looks. Everybody has problems. And everybody's life is finite. Life is short. Make sure that you utilize it to the best of your abilities. And remember that all good things take time. Do I wish that my pancreas just worked properly? Honestly, no. Because I never would have learned that lesson and I would have been too comfortable. I realized very early on how to be uncomfortable with life because life is uncomfortable. But there are so many good things and so many things that you appreciate more that come from it when you are uncomfortable. So if you're someone that needed this little bit of a reminder, I hope this helps. Share it with a friend if you'd like. Leave a comment down below and hope you have a great day.